Prague. Prague is no longer a cheap city break, as it once was. Big-ticket sites like St. Vitus Cathedral, Strahov Library, and the Prague Jewish Museum now demand visitors to dig deeper into their wallets, but beer prices remain refreshingly low. Luckily, those on a tight budget or even those without any budget at all will still find much to enjoy in the Czech capital. Here is our list of the top free activities in Prague. Charles Bridge. The 650-year-old Charles Bridge may be one of Prague's most recognizable sights, but it is free to cross. Take in the impressive spires and domes on both sides of the river as you stroll down the stone cobbles and observe the rows of Baroque statues. Astronomical Clock. The Astronomical Clock, another well-known city landmark, is one of the most well-liked free activities in Prague. However, some visitors are not overly impressed by the hourly parade of mechanical figures. Instead, stop by here in between shows to take a closer look at the clock. The two clock faces are not just elaborately lovely and full of symbolism, but also fonts of information. They include information such as the current moon phase, the time, located where the golden hand and Roman numerals meet, the day and month of the year, the zodiac sign, the hours of sunset and sunrise, and much more. Not bad for a clock that wasn't put in until 1410. David Cerny's public artworks. David Cerny is the undisputed king of controversial modern sculpture in Prague. The artist is arguably best known for his creation Entropa, a massive sculpture that shows EU countries as crude clichés, such as France on strike and Romania as a Dracula theme park, but which is no longer on exhibit after sparking a tiny bit of controversy. Many of the artist's other pieces, on the other hand, are scattered around Prague's streets and, to make matters even better, can be viewed for free. Petrin Hill. One of Prague's most well-liked playgrounds is Petrin Hill, which is topped by what appears to be a little Eiffel Tower. Don't miss the Hunger Wall, a structure built in 1362 that gets its name from the claim that it was built not for strategic value but rather as a means of providing income to Prague's starving population following a famine. Come for the woodland walkways, blooming rose gardens, and stunning views of the city below, but also don't miss the Hunger Wall. Prague Castle. While the majority of Prague Castle's opulent interiors, including St. Vitus Cathedral, are fee-based attractions, you are free to wander the grounds and gardens for nothing at all. Just be sure to have identification to pass through security. You are also free to explore the charming Golden Lane, where author Franz Kafka once resided, after the shops have closed and a seductive silence has descended upon the ancient avenue. Novi Svet Quarter. Combine a stroll through the new world with a visit to Prague Castle. With its strollable cobblestone streets, pastel-hued 16th century homes, and traces of the medieval city walls, this lovely neighborhood feels like a world away even though it is only a short walk northwest of the castle complex. Vyšehrad Citadel. The Vyšehrad Citadel, like Prague Castle, is positioned on a hilltop, was once a royal castle, and is likewise dominated by a significant chapel that looks out over the Vltava River. But unlike Prague Castle, admission is free. Visit the Gothic Vyšehrad Cemetery, where famous Czechs like Dvořák, one of the first Czech composers to achieve international fame, and Mucha, a renowned artist who painted the Slav epic, a series of 20 giant canvases depicting the history and mythology of the Slavic peoples, are buried, in addition to touring the magnificent Church of Sts. Peter and Paul, a dedicated Prague gallery is supposedly in the works to house it. Municipal House. Prague's Municipal House is a gem of Art Nouveau construction and is connected to the large, Gothic powder gate that stands at the entrance to the Old Town. Budget-conscious tourists can still take advantage of the stunning exterior, replete with big entryway mosaic, as well as the exquisite foyer for free, even though the upstairs hallways are only accessible via paid, guided tour. Letna Gardens. For a large city, Prague features a lot of parks and gardens, from the Wallenstein Garden with its statues to the Strimovka Park with its lakes. However, Letna Gardens are difficult to top for their combination of winding walkways, beer gardens, and large open areas. From the Ekmos tram stop, Climb the steep staircase for a slow reveal of a breathtaking view of Prague, including the Vltava River, its bridges, and the roofs of the city. When you reach the top, you'll see a huge plinth that originally held a massive statue of Stalin, which was destroyed by dynamite. Today, a spectacular 75-foot-tall, 23-meter metronome, a device that emits an audible click roughly every second, stands in its place as a tribute to the proverb in time, all things pass. Tin Church. Even though the Czech Republic is one of the world's most secular nations, its city is crammed with magnificent cathedrals from ages past, many of which are free to enter, though donations will be gratefully received. The Church of Our Lady before Tn, a twin-spired Gothic masterpiece dominating the Old Town Square, is one of the most photographed buildings. Explore the striking Baroque interior, which has a 17th century altar and the grave of pioneering Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe, who is also renowned for wearing an artificial nose for the majority of his life, by going inside his original sniffer being partially decapitated in a sword duel with a contemporary over who was the better mathematician. Witkoff Hill. While a journey to the top of the pricey modern masterpiece, looming ISO, choose as applicable, TV tower will cost you a good money. The neighboring Witkoff Hill offers comparably expansive views across Eikhof and Kaln. Even though there is an entrance fee for the national monument, there is no charge to see the enormous Janaka statue or to wander along the hilltop paths in the shade of